we've got some good old-fashioned gameplay commentary in this one, because I wanted to dive into a very simple idea in regards to the Vancouver Canucks. It's simple, it's been, in a way, regurgitated a number of ways, but the fact that we have ourselves a brand new interview that has this sentiment right there, smack dab, on the forefront, gives us a great reason to bring it up once more. Today we're talking about the Vancouver Canucks and the culture in the room. The culture in the organization. The culture, maybe not from the very, very tippy top of the iceberg. We all know Francesco Aquilini is still the guy who runs the show behind the scenes. He's got these players going out to Eliza. He's got the vineyards. He's got the real estate. He owns the Canucks, and he is still the guy on top. But right underneath Francesco Aquilini, the owner, you have a number of new people that have brought themselves into the fold for Vancouver. Ryan Johnson, the GM. Henrik and Daniel Sedin, the co-presidents of hockey operations. There are a number of interesting names that have been added, and for the most part, fans are very, very happy with them. Not because there have been any extremely positive results. I mean, they've only had the job for a few weeks after all, but because you could already see the culture. Everything has changed for the Vancouver Canucks, and today's interview that we're going over, Steve Ewan out of the province went out there and interviewed Ryan Stewart, the Canucks' new director of hockey strategy. There's some really good info here from Stewart that illuminates just how things have been transformed internally within the Canucks organization. Now, we did already make a video talking about Ryan Stewart and the hire that was him coming over to the Canucks. This was briefly talked about in the Paul Cotter commentary because that opening segment talked about Stewart as well as Adam Sergery, a guy that we already made a video about prior to in the Niels Oman video. It's complicated. We made videos about the Canucks adding guys, trading guys, whatever, but the executives still, they had a pretty interesting spotlight on them as well. With that said, though, Ryan Stewart is indeed a new Canucks exec, and he is a guy that the Canucks were able to bring on from a pretty intriguing past, which included the likes of being a Chicago Blackhawks guy. And I say guy because he had so many roles with the Chicago Blackhawks over the years. And then you also had the time that he had spent with the San Jose Sharks organization, which was pretty big as well. There's a lot that Ryan Stewart has been a part of in the National Hockey League, and you can't really go out there and dismiss that. So for the Canucks to have gotten somebody as diverse as Ryan Stewart to be their new director of hockey strategy, a brand new role that I don't think Canucks fans really have any idea what that means. Obviously, there is some intrigue and some pretty good vibes going on with what could happen with this new addition. Now, let's go out there and read the one particular segment from this article that gives Canucks fans hope. This was tweeted out by Jabo Vancouver. This is what gives me hope. It's a comment from Ryan Stewart in this Steve Ewan article. Stewart said he had limited dealings with Ryan Johnson over the years, through his time in Chicago and San Jose. And he did his own vetting of Johnson and co-presidents Daniel and Henrik Sedin when he started talking to the Canucks about a job, and all the information that came back to him pegged them as family-oriented, high character, let's collaborate and work together. Stewart says that is what drew me to this group. Think about that, eh? I mean, Ryan Stewart is a guy who, when you look at his profile of what he's been able to accomplish over the years, I mean, he's a double-time Stanley Cup champion. He was a part of 2 Blackhawks teams that won Stanley Cups. He was a part of a San Jose team that was really going through it. They were so good in the late 2010s, and then they just kind of fell off the face of the earth. They got Evander Kane for a while, and now they're back on top of things with Macklin, Celebrini, Michael Misa, Will Smith, and everybody else. Ryan Stewart left that organization that is already on the up and up to become the director of hockey strategy with Vancouver, and I am not even going to go out there and start declaring anything about people's salaries or whatever, but I would not be surprised if Ryan Stewart came over to Vancouver and the money he was getting from the Canucks was actually less than what he was getting with San Jose. The guy was a senior advisor for years. Now he's a director of hockey strategy. I don't know about you, but if Steve Yzerman, for example, can get promoted, quote unquote, to being a senior advisor to the governor of the Red Wings, I would assume senior advisor probably has a little bit more dough attached to it than a brand new role that Vancouver just came up with this year. For Ryan Stewart to be a part of the up and up that is the San Jose Sharks and then ditch them to come to a Vancouver Canucks team that seems to be everything that he has described, family-oriented, high character, these things that bring people in and want everybody to have a voice. Jabo Vancouver says, "This is what gives me hope. It seemed like regimes in the past had egos and insecurities that drove some decisions. For example, a GM who was at odds with his head of amateur scouting. This regime seems different. There's a clear hierarchy, but everyone has a voice at the table." Yeah, you thought we were going to let y'all forget about the Judd Brackett fallout from a few years ago. Nope, we are not going to let that go down. Todd Harvey, still in the organization, say what you want about him, but this has been an issue over the years with Vancouver executives treating people poorly and potentially bossing them around in a way that was more like, I am the boss and I tell you what to do and you obey 100% and you don't push back. Like, I think of the Bruce Boudreau situation and how they absolutely humiliated him. I think about the Rick Tocchet leaving situation, the Quinn Hughes, we didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. Quinn Hughes was never going to stick around. Like, no. The Vancouver Canucks made it worse. Like, they ruined their own leverage with some of those comments that they had made. And then Rutherford always speaking ill about Pettersson in the media, confirming the Pettersson-Miller beef, whatnot. Like, there was so many just ill-advised elements to the previous Vancouver Canucks regime that just seeing that the guys that are in charge now are building this culture from the ground up. And they're always saying, like, yeah, you gotta be supportive in the community. That was the big pitch when Brian Burke was the Vancouver Canucks GM back in 1999 to Henrik and Daniel Sedin. Y'all gotta be good people in this community. You gotta be helping out. You've gotta be able to step out into the community, answer questions, answer what the fans have to say, spend time with the kids, sign autographs, be there for the people that support you in your sport. We didn't see a lot of that over the past few years, and now with the Sedins in the fold, yeah, look at the Canucks prospects. What are they doing in their prospect camp? Are they practicing? They're going out there doing drills or doing scrimmages and live streaming it all on YouTube? Maybe they're doing some of that, but they're also going to the community. They're supporting the kids. They're hanging out with folks on the ice. They're supporting the people that make Canucks hockey a phenomenon in this city. Okay, maybe not this city. I'm in Chiba, Japan right now, but like, y'all get what I mean, right? There is a new culture that the Vancouver Canucks have started to establish ever since the JT Miller, Quinn Hughes, Connor Garland, American toxicity thing seemed to have left the franchise. Now we've got some Swedish excellence back at the top, and Ryan Johnson is the guy to control who comes in and out. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the Canucks culture fully going through a transformation here? I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.